You're listening to the Survivor Sweat Podcast with Mike Buckmiller and Russell Rosenblum. If you're looking for strategy articles and just about everything Survivor, head to survivorsweat.com. Now, let's get to it.
All right, we are back. The Survivor Sweat Pod. We are in the Simply Las Vegas studio. And in fairness, I think everybody's back.
Except for Mike Tomlin.
Mike Tomlin.
Well, if you're a fan of Mike Tomlin, you may not be back.
Oh, God. Jeez. Who are we? I'm Mike Buckmiller. This is Russell Rosenblum, my partner in Sweat. Yes, we once won this contest back in 2022.
We still are the reigning 22 champions.
Yes, we will never.
That's right.
Yeah, never not be the 22 champions.
Unless we get drug tested. Never mind. That's our PEDs for Survivor.
Oh, well, let's recap week 7. 204 hit the skids. I can't believe it's that many.
That includes the no picks.
Yes.
Yeah, it would have been a nice 200 if there was no picks.
77.4% of the entire pool has been eliminated through week 7, including, as Russ mentioned, the 4 no picks. That is now 94 on the season. We are at 4,214 remaining entries out of the original 18,718 in the winner-take-all 18 million and some change contest. So, for the second straight week, the damage was done early in the week on Thursday.
Yep.
As the Steelers got clipped by the upstart Flacco Bengals.
The difference is this time the damage wasn't done to us. That's all.
That's right.
In case anyone out there was concerned.
And also for the second straight week, not as much carnage as everyone projected as...
Mostly you.
Yeah. Once they were revealed. Well, actually, in fairness, Pool Genius had it up to as high as 16% on Wednesday prior to the Thursday kickoff.
That he estimated busting?
Yep. And then it just plummeted down to 5% prior to kickoff. So we were trying to figure out where everybody would have been. I think we were just, 5, 6 to 8%, maybe 10% max. But yes, Pool Genius had it at 16 to start, and then it just continuously crept down until obviously the reveal show, and then 4.1 were actually on them. As we stated on the Saturday Night Sweat show, I was asked why did I think it plummeted, and the only thing I had to say was I think people have lost their steam for those Thursday night games.
I always regret taking those Thursday night games. I mean, look, the year we won, we had a couple of big Thursday night wins. But Thursday nights, I just think it's not a superstition thing. I'm not superstitious. I'd be unlucky. But it's just that it's like dealing with really, really bad weather games, right? You're just adding another variable to the mix. So here you're just adding short rest. So in theory, sure, you could have the better team that wins by 30, but it's just one more random variable you're adding. Yeah. So you get a skill player that can get hurt or just fluky stuff happens. I mean, you look at in the game where we got crippled, if you want to call it that, Rams, you look at San Francisco that stumbled into this game with no players, and it didn't even seem to really matter.
Yeah, short week, whether you're on the road, home, it's tough to get geared up, put a game plan together. Obviously, there's just so much variance there. And again, in 2022, we did get some entries through on a Thursday. And, sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. And, you look at the runoff of teams that you have to select, and sometimes it's the best spot. And you just take it. And so, obviously last week we were not on it, but, we
put it this way. We don't literally do it this way. I mean, it's implied. We don't quantify it quite this way. But if you were to say that you're going to score every game from 1 to 100, and all else being equal, you go through your regular scoring, and then, you now have some of these Thursday night games you're considering, you might subtract, 5 or 8 or something from your score. You're not subtracting 30.
Sure.
Right. But you're not just taking it off the board, but I wouldn't ignore it either. I mean, you got to price it as something. Just like, people say you're willing to take away games. Of course we are if the spot's good. But would I rather take the home game? Of course I'd rather take the home game. So when they're away, that gets priced in a little bit too.
Sure.
Thursday night gets priced in a little bit also. Now the books normally are pretty good about, they're building all that in. For me, I probably discount Thursdays a little bit more than the books. Of course, they're looking at money. You should be looking at the money lines there, not necessarily just the point spread lines. But for us, because it really is win or you're done.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, and I haven't looked at this, but I would imagine this would be the case. A little bit tricky to look at because you don't have a necessarily good comp. But I would imagine if a random line in a Sunday game at a book was going to be 6.5 on Thursday, if that same exact game is being played a few days earlier, maybe it's 5. I don't know. I'm guessing it's got to be something. Now 6.5 to 5, you're not crossing real numbers. If a game was normally 2.5 and it went to 3.5, that's a massive move. So I don't know, but we should ask someone over there. We got a couple people we can ask. I'm curious.
Sure. I
would imagine they have to price it in the shorter week. I would doubt makes the line go up unless you're dealing with a spot where you have a quarterback that was dinged up the week prior, or maybe by Sunday he plays, but by Thursday he can't be ready. That'd be the only time I think the line would could get wider for that Thursday game.
Sure.
Well said.
Yeah, in Grandissimo, once again, 3 entries found themselves with a chance to win the $6.9 million outright.
Were you one of them?
No. As the other 12 went in the direction of max survival again. And
the bad news is we weren't one of them either.
Yeah, and pushed the button on the Chiefs.
You said you would be doing cartwheels if you had that Patriots spot on the
I
live stream, Mike.
Yes, for sure.
I'd have been cartwheels with the Patriots. I'd been doing cartwheels with the Lions. I'd have been throwing up for 58 minutes with the Broncos. Technically, I guess 45 because the last 15 they started pounding.
Yeah,
points,
there was no sweat. Everybody got by this week, right?
Yeah.
No sweat.
God, how about that game? That is unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. We had that was one of our biggest spots. So yeah, it was unbelievable. All right. That was insane. They said it's the first time ever, and this I don't think this will happen again. It's just too strange to happen that a team has scored 0 through the first 3 quarters, then dropped 30 plus in the fourth quarter. And the reason, I could plausibly see, and very unlikely because the first quarter usually isn't that high scoring, I could sooner see a team scoring 30 in the first quarter than putting up 0 the rest of the game because maybe they have a great quarterback and he went out at the end of the first quarter, the beginning of the second quarter. Here, did your quarterback just show up 3 quarters late? He got off the bus and ran into the stadium?
Unbelievable.
I don't even know how that happens.
There were a lot of firsts in that game. I also heard it was the first time that in the history of the NFL that a kicker has missed 2 extra points that were not blocked, and the team lost by 1 point.
Now, although in fairness to the kicker, because I kept commenting on this there, and these 2 extra points are going to come back to bite him. I mean, first of all, it's a close game, of course. Gee, thanks for the valuable insight. See the ball on the ground? It's a fumble. Thanks. But in fairness, I don't want to say the whole game plays out differently in terms of, driving up and down the field. But you had Denver went for multiple 2-point conversions and converted them. But if you have them made extra points, they may not be going for those 2-point conversions.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not saying butterfly effect, maybe then they still go but don't convert. But they probably don't go for them. The extra points at the end of the day may not have mattered.
So. Well, it won't
that's
matter
literally
anymore
2 extra doesn't matter now.
He got cut.
Shocking.
I'm surprised they let him on the actual plane to get
The good news
home.
is it doesn't matter how poor the Giants' strategy is or whatever. Dable always seems to find a way to fire someone else.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Someone else always goes bye-bye. Dable remains.
The thing is, do you wait for them to cut you, or do you just go to your locker and just grab your stuff and just go?
I probably grab it before they take all my crap and throw it in the dumpster. I take the stuff of value.
God, I'm just the feeling of letting your team down like that.
Maybe I call my agent and go, look, I want to see, can you feel them out? Call them, see if I can get an extension. See what they say.
Yeah, and I mean, the New York's up 25. I think it's 25-8. Forgive me if I'm off a point. I think it was like 20.
You were busy with your fantasy basketball draft.
That's another story. So it's 25-8, I believe. And the Giants actually have the ball. It's like 5 minutes and 38 seconds or something like that.
And as I said to Mike as he's head down his computer, the one thing I would not do here, it just doesn't even really matter. I'm never letting this guy throw the ball. I'm just running 3 times into the line of scrimmage. I'm getting no yards. I don't care. And I'm
and meanwhile, so you're thinking 25-8. Okay, yes. I mean, it's one thing for the Broncos to come back and win the football game. But the Giants then scored another touchdown in that game too, within the 5 minutes. Like, it's just incredible. And the pass interference and stuff flying across the room.
That's our room, that's my room. That was a remote control that went flying, I think.
And meanwhile, the Packers are over on the other side. And the reason why we're,
between those two games, we had like 60% of our picks roughly in those two games.
Yeah.
And it didn't look like we were going to get either through.
Yeah,
they both looked pretty bad.
Tough.
The Packers are the ugliest looking, like, top 5 power ranking team in football I've seen in years.
Okay. Yeah, they're off on the power rankings for sure, without a doubt. They're rated a little bit too high, and the Colts, they're late on. So those are two that if you use power rankings,
right. It's not like we had this conversation. It's not like you're suggesting the Colts are necessarily better than the Packers. Just that the Colts, are probably underrated. The Packers overrated.
Soon they may be. Who knows?
They could definitely be.
Yeah. Who knows? So at 4:00 on the Survivor Sweat X platform, we posted our percentage projections of where we think the public will land, along with our selections for the week.
We guessed right about us.
We guessed right about us. We went with the Packers, Broncos. Yep. We did have a few sprinkled on the Chiefs, and we actually got one through with the Browns.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Got someone in our group. What did he say? I said to Mike when we sent it out to our group, I go, so do you think this guy is going to say, like, wow, I love this pick? Or do you think he's going to go, what the hell are you doing? And what was his quote exactly? Do you remember? Something like, who the hell are the Browns playing? Like Mississippi Valley State or something?
Yeah. And I always know when we get those emails back, we're right where we need to be.
Yeah, exactly.
So we had, we thought that the Patriots would be a little bit more heavier. They landed at 28%. The Chiefs and Patriots were right there, 28.3, 28.9. I thought a few more on the Patriots. A little surprised that the Chiefs went up that high, but it just wasn't a good run out last week. And I had the heebie-jeebies all week long about some of those games and just didn't like it. The Bears, man, they look pretty good. They got it done. So if you were somebody that took some equity there on the Bears and got them through, congratulations. Steelers, not so well.
Well, look, and you're right. The Steelers, look, it's easy to be results-oriented. Like, we dodged this. We faded the Steelers, which doesn't have a lot of great value. It's a team you kind of want to use if you think they're going to win. Now, they lost, obviously, so good we faded them. But we also faded the Patriots in spots we could have taken them, and the Bears in spots we could have taken them, and those are two teams that also don't. I mean, Patriots have another. I think they have the Jets again, but in Miami. But, I mean, this was a good spot to take them. If you think they're going to get through as dominating.
Yeah, I was surprised. I was a little surprised that only 18% landed on the Bears. We had them between 20 to 25, 20 being the floor, 25 being the ceiling, and they were below that. And so that was one of the reasons why we wanted to fade them. We thought that, the Saints have been a little pesky, and, the Bears were coming off a short week. So if you're looking at ways that you can clip the pool, you're just trying to find those spots that you can get through and gain that equity. So, it is what it is. It's one of those weeks where everybody got through. But if you did have the Bears, if you did have the Browns, you got some unrealized equity because now you have some spots to take future teams where others may not be able to.
Yep.
So, congratulations for that for sure.
I got to tell you, and I sent you this video because I know you missed it during the game. The Chiefs seem to always find a way to have a good time in games in spots where it doesn't matter anymore, right? Totally. So they had a preseason game, I think it was last year, where Mahomes did like a behind-the-back pass.
Yeah.
And Andy Reid has been telling him to try it in the regular season, and Mahomes is going, I don't think I want to do that. Usually it's the other way around, right? The quarterback going, come on, give me a shot. Coach is like, yeah, we're not doing that. And then you saw the thing I sent you in the Raiders game, right? So, you're always getting a team, for those that didn't see it, you're always getting a team that, when it's less than 5 yards to a first down, they line up.
Well, we saw the Raiders.
And no, we really didn't. Tried to avoid it. And they try to draw the other team off sides with the hut play. Hut, see if the team will jump. And Mahomes apparently just in the middle of the hut play stands up and goes, this shit never works. I don't know why we're doing this, right? So and then he lines up behind center, it takes the snap and they go, right? So it was the fake, which is really unbelievable. It's very cool. But again, they're not doing this in this. I don't know. I think it's a great play, but I think you save it for the Super Bowl or a championship game or when the lights go out behind you, like New Orleans in the Super Bowl a few years ago. But yeah, I think you save it for a spot like that. Welcome to Simply Vegas.
Simply Vegas.
Are we almost done with the first half? Because we can take a break in a minute as he fixes our background.
We're almost there.
We'll finish up with the lovely house behind us, if you don't mind, Producer Nick.
Cool. Yeah, whatever you guys want to do.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, so it was pretty much straightforward.
I want to know the listing price on the house.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah, really nice.
If you win Survivor.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah, so other than that, things were pretty much straightforward. Nick, where did last year's champions land?
Yeah. So
Are they still in?
Yeah, everybody's still in.
Other than Mike Tomlin.
Sparingly so, yeah, other than Mike Tomlin. We got C3 picks up top, 3 picks alive, 2 on the Patriots, 1 on the Steelers. Dream Stakes, 2 injuries alive, 1 on the Broncos, 1 on the Bears. Meatball Brothers got through with 1 on the Pats, 1 on the Chiefs. Pumbaa Pack got 1 through on the Browns. Impressive. Vodka Johnny got 1 through with the Patriots. Whatever Y'all Want has 1 alive, got it through with the Broncos, and Whiskey Business was also on the Browns. So
I like it.
There's
You
a
got
lot of
two former champs
ones on this list.
But 2 former champs down to 1 pick, and they both went Browns.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And not that many went Browns.
How about the one that had the last pick on the Broncos?
Wild.
Well, how about the guy in Grandissimo that had the 1 pick on the Broncos?
Oh, my goodness. That would just be unbelievable. I mean, you got to follow that guy because, I mean, that's the guy that's going to take it down. It just happens that way.
It's not as good as L.A. Joneser.
No, it's not as good as L.A.
best.
Joneser, but I'll tell you what.
Yep.
If that guy takes it down, oh, my gosh. Unreal. He'll buy a dark
And the one thing I'll say too
jersey.
is it may not be to that degree, but to take it down, he'll have to go to the well more than that one time. There'll have to be some other comeback or something, some missed field goal. It's the NFL. You never win. You're not constantly winning games like the Chiefs did this week.
I have a question for you guys.
Yep.
So if you just had to guess, like let's just take, I'm just going to pick on Vodka Johnny just because we know him and he uses Survivor Sweat. If you had to guess, how many other picks do you think Vodka Johnny is involved with?
That's a good question.
Do you think it could be 20, 30? Like if he's bought in, if he's got buddies, there's really no way to know.
I mean, we could ask him. He could tell the truth.
Sure.
Sometimes, people are fine.
I just know you guys
matter.
like to do the over-under on certain things, but...
I'm going to phrase this differently just to be unfair, to dodge your question.
Okay.
I would say before the season is over, he'll be involved with at least 15 picks, if not already. Just because there's a reasonable chance maybe he had 10 already, and by the time he's done, he could buy one. He might have already bought 1 or 2% of other pieces. I have no idea. But usually, I know for us, it's not that we wouldn't look to buy pieces. We do, and we have. But usually we're so focused on our own entries, it's if and when we bust that we start looking at buying other pieces. When we're still in, if there's a great opportunity, I think we still take it. But absent a great opportunity, we're usually focused on our own.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking about these guys getting down to 1. They
no, for sure.
be thinking about that.
And for that said, prior to the season even starting and when you're buying your entries, after you win, you celebrate it with so many. All your friends and family and people are like, wow, I can't believe you won that contest, or, and then they're like, hey, I want to be a part of that.
Yep.
And then you feel guilty if you don't let them in some way, shape, or form.
Sure.
And so I would, if I'm a gambling man, I would have to say he's in on more than just his run out of 10 with a family member, a friend, somebody else.
Probably.
We have no idea
so
what
hard
the
to
screen name is. Have no clue. But if it gets down to the end, more times than not, the people will kind of reveal themselves.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, if they were involved with, say, 20 picks or more, it's an illusion, right? So it looks like he takes his one last pick on the Browns. Mm-hmm. No, I'm sorry. We were talking about Johnny, whatever. Yeah, It looks like he takes from the Patriots, but maybe he's got a bunch of picks on the Chiefs somewhere else. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a cool strategy, yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's a wrap for week 7.
Not a wrap for the show. You see the little bar on the bottom? It means there's more to go.
We'll take a look at this home and come back for week 8 and see where everybody will land.
It's got great closet space, I think.
Couldn't have imagined that it would happen. To be here today and collect this check.
This is amazing.
Do you have what it takes to win the biggest football handicapping contest in Las Vegas? If you live out of state but want to enter either the Circa Sports Millions or the Circa Survivor contest, you've come to the right place.
But do you not live in Las Vegas? There's a solution with Survivor Sweat. Place from anywhere in any of the biggest sports contests. Fly to Las Vegas and schedule an appointment to get signed up. Can't make it to Vegas? Just buy an entry form from the marketplace. Either way, submit your picks each week into the contest using Survivor Sweat Proxy.
Kudos to Circa
Survivor Sweat, and everybody else. Once in a lifetime experience. Thank you.
With over $20 million in guaranteed prizes, you can sweat small, win big. Visit survivorsweat.com or call for more information.
All right, we are back. Let's look ahead to week 8. Russ, looking at the board here, what do you see?
See a lot of... Here we go again. I see a lot of spots. It's every week. It's like they're the same teams you want to take every week, but you want to save every week. And then you got a bunch of teams that, look like they're good spots. And you're like, really? This is the team I'm going to put my Survivor future on? So, you're looking down at teams like, if you've still got the Colts, they're in a great spot versus Tennessee. If you've been saving them, this is probably why you've been saving them. So I would imagine you're going to use them despite the fact they're going to be very chalky, because if you don't use them here, you're taking a team with one of the best records, I think the best record in the league now, right? Or tied for best record, something like that. And you're going to be looking down at, best record. You're going to be looking down at saving them for a game that may or may not matter in week 17 versus Jacksonville. And they're currently decent-sized favorites in 16 against San Francisco, but who knows how that'll play out based on San Francisco's health. And then you're looking down the list at teams again, you're staying, usual suspects. Do you want to look at Kansas City or Philly? They're great teams. They have special weeks. They've got other value. And then, the classics here that you're going to have a lot of popularity on, the Falcons and the Bengals to go with the Colts. So here you've made it this far in Survivor, and, Cincinnati looked better. They looked better than terrible against Pittsburgh. And
I'm sure the Bengals have never broken anybody's heart in this.
In fairness, they haven't broken anywhere near as many hearts this year, because by the time you realized they weren't going to win, Burrow was gone. Yeah. I mean, the Jets are terrible, of course I like Cincinnati in the game. I mean, how am I not going to like Cincinnati in the game? But the reality is, although you felt like the Pittsburgh game was a little bit of a trap for Pittsburgh, but you're looking at the comparison of Pittsburgh to Cincinnati is similar to the comparison of Pittsburgh to Cincinnati last week. It's almost similar to the comparison of Cincinnati to the Jets. Yeah. You're just looking at just a fraud, as you would call them, except Cincinnati's not showing good enough to really be a fraud. No. Pittsburgh was a fraud, right? But Cincinnati is like I don't know what they are exactly. Now, the Jets are terrible. I get that. But, Cincinnati was not great coming into this game last week.
So far, who's not been a fraud is the Colts. And so to your point, the Colts are 39% available within people left in the pool. Their projections around 32%. To your point, everybody that has them probably just plays them here.
It's hard not to. This is a spot, and I hate to say this, even though they're going to be so chalky, I mean, it's just so tough because... as David Baker pointed out in one of the Saturdays, assuming this gets to the end, which is everybody's assumption, there's only 12 teams you're not taking. Yeah. So if you don't take Indianapolis here, that could suddenly be one of those special 12. And then who are you putting in their place?
Correct.
Right? They're one of the best teams in football right now, although in fairness, they've played, for the most part, the softer part of their schedule, and they've got a tougher part of the schedule coming. Yep. So you really don't want them to be in your 12. So if you're not playing them here, you've really got to find a spot you're committing to take them. And that's a little bit tricky.
Yeah, and they're a 90% market win rate. Below them, the Chiefs, of course. People used them last week in a great spot. So whoever's left might want to get in there. I don't know. I mean, it's 83% against the Commanders, obviously without Jalen Daniels now. Below them, Buffalo. But Buffalo has been taken quite a bit in this pool. Only 40% have them left. And Buffalo is in... I was looking ahead a little bit, as one would do playing this.
One would hope.
There is this choke point in week 10 where if you don't have the Broncos or Bills, you are kind of in trouble.
Well, you could take Seattle.
You could take Seattle. So 40% have the Bills, 33% have the Broncos, and 44% have Seattle.
Yep.
So if you don't have one of those three teams...
and the next one down the list, by the way, is not a great spot, but it's Atlanta and Indy on a neutral field.
Yeah, so you look up and you're like, okay, some teams kind of reveal themselves and come out of nowhere. Like this week, I'm sure a lot of people weren't looking to take Atlanta here against Miami. All of a sudden, Miami just looks like an absolute shit show. And Atlanta has been playing better at home. Their home and road splits are just been crazy. So here now you look like the Falcons might be a chance, to your point, one of those teams that you try to like thread the needle through. So if you're not going to take the Colts here, or you don't have them in your pocket, and you want to save a Buffalo, a Kansas City, a Baltimore, maybe you get a little aggressive here and you go, hey, I'm gonna get cozy with the Falcons.
Well, cozy isn't. I don't think I'd use that term, but sure, go with cozy.
The old.
I'm gonna suck it up and go with the Falcons.
Yeah, that's right.
I think is
below
closer.
them. You got the Eagles, which everybody seems to be saving them for. I mean, right now, you're kind of going, am I saving the Ravens? Am I saving the Eagles? It's kind of a week to week. Everyone wants to see what Lamar's back practicing. So, you got Lamar at home versus the Bengals. Now the Bengals look okay. Bears don't look that bad on that Black Friday game. So, people have been kind of saving the Eagles back for that. And then below that, here, if you still have some Patriots, you got the Pats at home, 76% win rate. Home versus Cleveland, which Cleveland has shown a little bit of fight because they have that defense that, and there is some home and road splits with that defense that is kind of...
there is. New England has looked pretty good. But again, they did beat Buffalo, at Buffalo, right?
Sure.
And now let me give you their other games.
Mm-hmm.
They lost, by the way, Did I mention they lost to Vegas?
Oh, yeah. We lost some entries.
Yeah, I know. Then they have the world beaters. They beat in Miami, Carolina, New Orleans, and Tennessee.
Hey, Tennessee.
No, but I mean, seriously, how much did they have to pay to get that schedule? Now, Miami's in their division, so that's just, it is what it is.
With a lot of losses last year.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Oh, and by the way, their other loss, I didn't give you their full schedule. They did lose one other game to the Steelers.
Yeah.
But this is their schedule. Geez, Vegas, Miami, Pittsburgh, Carolina, Buffalo, then at New Orleans and at Tennessee. And now they get Cleveland, which is probably better than Tennessee, New Orleans, Miami, and Vegas.
I'm going to go ahead and say they're better than the Titans.
And you can debate whether they're better or worse than Carolina, I guess. I don't know. Like, better or worse than Pittsburgh?
It's a cream puff schedule, though.
Yeah. Well, that's the benefit.
Well, and by the way, they haven't played their 2 Jets games yet, or their 1 Bengals game, or their Giants game yet.
Man.
And they finished the season at home against Miami.
So I think what you're actually doing is making a case to hold them.
I guess. You could hold them for the Jets. You could. I don't know. I'm making a case that we should have bet them to win the division.
And to your point, you said Jets many a time, and that's where the Bengals fall, right underneath there.
Yep.
72% win rate. Looks like about 15, 16% of the public.
Yeah, but who do you think is better, New England or Cincinnati?
On a neutral field. I think I probably think the books go New England minus 2 there.
I think so too.
I think so.
I think that's what it would be.
Well said.
And then you got below there, you got Tampa Bay at New Orleans, but Tampa Bay has some decent spots. And you know what? I would rather hold Tampa Bay and wait till they get healthy. Because
is Mike Evans getting healthy? I didn't see the update. Or is he done for the year?
No, he's not done for the year, but I think he may be done for the regular season. He broke his clavicle. He has a concussion.
So you're going to tell me he's going to be back for the AFC Championship game? Is he being traded? Cincinnati is not.
I'm talking about their Pro Bowl left tackle. I'm also talking about Bucky Irving. I'm talking about Chris Godwin. I'm talking to a few key guys on the defensive end. So that team is just putting up a fight. Kudos to Baker Mayfield.
Well, and the coach in Tampa, yes.
Yeah. And so, I see weeks like this where it looks like there's 9 different spots. Yeah, it could be. It's going to be chalky on the Colts. Might get a little chalky on the Falcons and a little hefty there on the Bengals. But when you have 9 teams in play like that, there's going to be some upsets. If the math will say.
Tell me this every week.
No, it's 2, 3, 4 teams. So, we're going to have some teams that get bounced this week. Some entries. How many? Who knows? But there's quite a choice of teams to pick from. Where last week it just didn't feel like that. Although every time you look at the board, the reveals show, there's always like 19 and 21 and 23 teams taken. I just don't understand that.
I don't think this year there's been less than 20 unique teams selected.
Yeah.
I don't understand either.
that
Now,
graphic.
I think we've lost players at a slightly slower clip. Like I think we had less than 74% or whatever we have, or remaining last year. But yes, I agree with you. I can understand some of them when you get to even 10 or 11. When you start getting down to picks like, even though I understand there's only one pick out of over 4,000 entries, but Washington, Atlanta, 2-1 Miami last week. You had
the one that really baffled me is seeing the Chargers. 11 individuals took the Chargers at home versus the Colts, because the Chargers have some really good spots
I know.
in some weeks that there's not a lot of teams to choose from. And I just don't know what you're gaining there by getting the Chargers through versus the Colts. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Well,
I mean, if
I
mean, if you're telling me, you're out on an island with like, a Jet or
I don't
Miami
know.
or something
But to be out on the island with Miami, even or whatever, even if you want to say the Chargers, yes, you're right. I'd probably rather take Miami than the Chargers, even though the Dolphins are terrible. But you're right. There are other spots you're going to use the Chargers. If you get through with Miami, you kind of clean up your ticket if you had other issues. Yeah. But the reality is that
like the Carolina pick, the 31 on Carolina. I'm like, okay, good job. I mean, hey, you got through with Carolina. I'd rather take the Carolina there before I take the Chargers.
Right, but I'm like the 2 on Philly, for example, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not looking to burn Philly. I mean, it's a special week team. No. Now, we burned some Chiefs earlier in decent spots, but I don't know. Philly's just not a team I'd be looking to burn this early in a game. Like, I don't think Minnesota's that good, and I'm amazed the game got as close as it did. But still, that's not the spot I'd be looking to burn them, even if you're trying to avoid the special week. You can find a better spot than that.
Sure.
Like Vegas.
Well, if you happen to be on the Chargers and you want to get back into this contest, head over to Survivor Sweat.
Oh, I'm going to say, if you happen to be on the Chargers, you want to reach out to Mike, tell him he's an idiot, you can reach out to him at mbuckmiller.
It definitely wouldn't be the first time. And I'm okay being the village idiot sometimes. But yes, so the marketplace is heating up. Nick, what is the implied value currently in both the main and Grandissimo?
Real quick too, I was just looking back at my old work. So this last week was the first time that there was less than 20 unique teams selected, but it was at 19. So for the rest of
in fairness,
this year,
a lot of teams were on bye.
Yeah,
that's true.
Wild.
You still had, like, as a percentage of the teams playing, a shocking number that were selected. It's kind of crazy. Yeah.
The current implied value in the main is $4,441, and the Grandissimo is at $460,000. 460,000. That's crazy.
Yeah, and I popped over to Survivor Sweat right before this. There is no less than 90 to 100 entries between 1 and 99% in the main. If you want pick control, the last sale for 99% was $10,150. So yes, you are going to pay a little premium, but if you want pick control and you like that entry moving forward, you're going to pay that premium. There was one Grandissimo entry left. They were selling a 10% share for $66,000. So you're looking at about $6,600 a point there. So if you're interested in that, I mean, obviously that's probably.
And by the way, you can also make an offer. This is not like you're locked in.
Absolutely, for sure.
Yeah, James touched on that on the live stream. There is an infinite amount of haggling, I guess, that you could do. You can volley it back and forth as many times as you want until you come to a number. So.
Sure. So yeah, whether you're out of the contest and want back in with FOMO, or you want to add to your portfolio, as Baker had said before, he scrolls and looks for different paths that he doesn't have on his, and he looks for teams and maybe a mini hedge, if you will, or something, just to get back in.
I remember, I think it was 2 years ago when he was out. Maybe it was around week 11 or 12, and he was like, maybe even later. It's like, I'm looking for anybody that is selling their ticket that still has Buffalo available.
Yeah.
That was like a very specific requirement.
Sure. Very good point. And regarding the Saturday Night Sweat show, Nick, what's our lineup look like? We had a pretty good one last week. So,
it's just going to be the usual suspects. So it's just going to be a lot of the Survivor Sweat guys. Rachel Aria will be coming back this week. Paulie Howard, amongst others. We'll keep you guys updated. So
wonderful.
It's real fun. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube. Your phone will buzz that we are live streaming if you're subscribed. And
if Rachel doesn't make it this time, you should just cut in and add some of her prior appearances.
That'd be fine. Yeah, I could do that. No, I actually couldn't do that on the live stream because it's all live. I can't edit it.
Yeah, but you could. Sure, you can. You could just put a little camera in front of like a screen where you're recording it. It'd be
so
fine.
we had a question.
Figure it out.
I'll figure it out.
About last week's pod, specific to when we discussed being ready to win, and it was specific to the Grandissimo when you find yourself out on an island when the games line up. Maybe there's a morning game and you get through, or maybe the
well, to the point, this is a very simple example, right? Everybody could have lost last week, and you could have the Lions on Monday night. And you're the only one, and you don't know yet. The other 4 teams have lost.
And at Bill Jones, 23, he said, unsure why you guys keep acting like Circa is the only place to hedge, because we mentioned Circa quite a bit. Plenty of other outs, notably, is it Kalshi?
That's true. Kalshi now is a legitimate
Poly Market plus other traditional online
books.
books.
The same concept still applies, right? Mm-hmm. Do you have money there?
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, it's the same thing. You're right. We do mention Circa a lot. One of the reasons is because they're more likely to give you credit.
That's right.
We're not guaranteeing they give you credit, but they're more likely to give you credit in a situation like that because they're going to understand if you lose this game, if you bet this game and you lose, you're like if you were the only one left and you were betting opposite the Lions, right? If you're betting the Bucks, if the Bucks win, you're going to win your bet. Paid. You're going to win your bet, and you're going to chop up the rest of this pool, right? So they know they're getting paid. And if the Lions win, they know you win the whole pool. So you lose your bet on the Bucks. So they might give you credit of $100,000, $200,000, $3 million. I don't know, $5 million, like whatever, right? But if you go racing out to Kalshi, I mean, I don't know how many people have a $5 million balance at Kalshi. And the thing that I found a little tricky at Kalshi is I do see the prices. At a sports book, to me, it's still a little bit more. I think Kalshi's great. It's not a slam on them. At a regular sports book, it's still a little bit more transparent where you can say, all right, well, I want to bet $1 million on this side. And they might say, no, we're going to let you bet 200,000. Or, okay, you can bet $1 million. At Kalshi, I try to put bets, and I can put in a limit price, but it's very unclear to me how much it's going to get taken because they're often matching up.
Gotcha.
And they do some market making, but like I've tried to put, they're stupid bets on some of this stuff, but like $100 on something, and I only got $5 at the posted price, and then it was like all over the board. So it's a little, and I think Kalshi's great. I'm not saying don't hedge there. I'm not saying don't hedge at DraftKings. I'm not saying to hedge or not hedge anywhere. But for the most part, you're going to have cash there. So wherever it is you want, and by the way, I would actually say, and we experienced this last year when people did have time and they were coming into town to hedge before week 18 or Survivor week 20. And, they were bringing in money, wiring in funds, or bringing in cashier's checks because in some cases they might have wanted to make their bet at MGM where the line was better than Circa. In some cases it was better at Circa. And
definitely shop your prices. We just mentioned Circa because it's the Circa Survivor contest. And, of course, they're willing to give you credit in times like that. If you have your own funds and you have your own books and offshore, onshore, whatever, by all means. But, again, just wanted to answer the question, so thank you for posing that.
But to be ready means, one, you have cash in a place that's meaningful, and two, you have a plan.
Yeah.
Because you don't, in the case you have the Monday night game, you have a little bit more time. In the instance, and that's not a lot of time, but it's more time. In the event that you are on an island in a Sunday night game, your money's either already there or it's not.
Yeah.
Or you're dealing with someplace you can bring a bag of cash.
That's correct.
And those are usually not the people that I want to trust with 7 figures.
No.
So, it's just that really is being ready, knowing you're going to have a plan and knowing you have the money to do something. And look, you might decide, okay, I just want to hedge for $5,000 because that's fine. I'll get my money back, whatever. But whatever your plan is, you should have it. And I'll say again, just to be clear, I'm talking about if you find yourself on an island and everybody else is already busted, and there's one game to go and it's either yours or the other person's, because even if it's not yours, you can hedge by betting with that guy, right? To know you're going to either chop up the pool or win your bet. If you're in a spot to just hedge to get down to anything other than 0 people remaining, you got to be careful because even if you only get down to 2 people, you can go, that's great. I'm looking at all the equity I'm picking up. You're picking up a ton of equity and you may have to keep hedging and doubling your bet, double. It's not quite double depending on the price you're getting, but for the sake of argument, double from now until we serve 20.
Yeah.
Right?
Unfortunately, we've known some people that got themselves in trouble with hedging too early and hedging not their actual game.
Hedging random games. And you can end up in a spot where you might need to make a bet near the end of the season that's bigger than another book will take. And actually, I should point something out before I forget. Again, Not saying you should go to Circa, go wherever you want. There is one big difference, and I don't think Circa is doing it yet. If you choose to go hedge at DraftKings or someplace else, depending on which side you're taking, you also need to be able to hedge the game's ends in a tie.
That's right.
And I've seen very few books offer that. Circa did, but usually only at the end of the year because people aren't usually looking to bet NFL ties. They do it specifically for this contest. Personally, I don't think their prices are great, but they're for tie. But the reality is it's the only price in town. And
that's right.
Without the hedge on the tie, you can lose your hedge bet and your survivor entry. So that is another thing. When I say be ready, understand when you're hedging, you could have a team that's a 14-point favorite. It doesn't mean the game can't end in a tie.
Well, hopefully you're ready for week 8 with your selections, and hopefully we've given you some insight, and hopefully we'll see you on the Saturday Night Sweat show.
Oh, you'll see us. I don't know if we see them unless
That's
Nick heads
right.
out there with his live cam.
We'll see him in chat.
You can do like the old school late night thing, walk down the street. So what do you think of Survivor, huh? What is this?
Yeah.
If you have any questions, hit us up on X at Mike Buckmiller or M Buckmiller at RosenblumR, or of course always at Survivor Sweat. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the pod, and of course over at survivorsweat.com. And most importantly, get your pick in.
Nah.
See you next time.
Or just put it on Miami.
Looking for Survivor strategy articles? Did you lose your last entry on a Survivor contest and wish you could rebuy? Check out our marketplace and you may find what you need. Head over to survivorsweat.com for all things Survivor. And we'll see you next week for the next Survivor Sweat podcast.